Welcome back. You're watching To The Point. Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj attempted to defend her behavior in the Lok Sabha this morning. It was an emotional speech where she claimed she had acted on humanitarian grounds to help a woman who might have been facing death. But was Mrs. Swaraj convincing, or has she evaded critical issues? With me is Congress spokesperson Abhishek Singhvi and BJP spokesperson GVL Narasimha Rao. Abhishek Singhvi, today in the Lok Sabha, Sushma Swaraj forcefully and emotionally explained that she had told the British High Commissioner there would be no adverse impact on Indo-British relations if Britain granted Lalit Modi travel documents because Modi's wife was A, dangerously ill, and because B, the treatment she needed at a Portuguese hospital would itself have been a matter of life and death. In other words, Sushma Swaraj acted to help a woman who was facing potential death. Why is that not an acceptable explanation?
Karan, I feel sorry because I think she's a competent lady and I feel sorry that she has to split hairs like this. It is less than Yudhishthir's half-truth which is being spoken. Let me make that very clear straight away, Karan. You are asking for humanitarian help is a sentence by itself. What is left unsaid in the sentence is A, that you are asking for help in respect of at least physically an alleged absconder, some inquiry, investigation against whom is going on. You are not asking for it, this is crucial, Karan, through the MEA, which creates a file. The simplest way government works is through a file noting, and it goes government to government, desk to desk. There is an attempt to suppress, and you are not asking the person to return to India. You are not saying India will issue travel documents of a temporary nature. You are, and people know how these texts and subtexts are used, telling the government of UK, look, please go ahead, we have no problem. But we don't want to grant it. We don't want you to come back. We will not process in our ministry the papers for a temporary travel document. Now, you know, what she is hiding and leaving unsaid is unfortunately much, much more than a very cosmetic, superficial and formal statement she is making.
Okay.
That's why I said it is less than the half-truth of Yudhishthir's Ashwathama in Mahabharata. And there are several other issues that I'll take less than 30 seconds, Karan. The RTI query which asks these very questions which I'm asking is rejected. The correspondence pre-existing between the previous finance minister of this country and the UK is returned, rejected, suppressed in the RTI.
Okay.
Part of the queries are football to the FM. So there's an attempt to suppress and hide.
Let me bring in Narasimha Rao at that point. Mr. Narasimha Rao, there are two critical concerns that have been raised by the opposition. First of all, if humanitarian grounds required that Lalit Modi should be given travel documents, why did Mrs. Swaraj not authorize the Indian High Commission in London to issue him a limited duration passport, possibly for only one visit to Portugal and back? That was an option she had. She could have exercised it. She didn't. And secondly, why did she not attach the condition that after that visit to Portugal, he should come back to India and answer questions from the Enforcement Directorate? That was a second condition she could have attached and she didn't. Why didn't she do both of those?
I think the Congress party has been very liberal with the truth, and unfortunately the media has not been posing the right questions. Let me ask very straight questions and let us debate on those.
No, answer
Point
my
number
questions
one.
instead.
What was the
about
illegality
answering my questions?
that Lalit Modi committed? No, I'm answering, in a way I'm answering your questions. There was nothing. There was not an FIR. There was not a charge sheet that was leveled Modi. So what charges was he facing? I want Mr. Singhvi to answer. The Congress party was only, they have only
Aren't you forgetting the fact that at that moment in time, his passport had been revoked, that Mrs. Swaraj was actually defending that revocation in a court, and then by allowing him to acquire British travel documents, she undermined the government's entire position on the revocation. You're overlooking that.
No, but the fact is that there was no case pending against him. There was only a lookout notice. A light blue corner notice issued against Lalit Modi meant the government, only ED, wanted to know what his address is. Nothing beyond that.
So in which case, why not give him back his passport? In which case, he's an Indian citizen, give him back his passport. Why facilitate British travel documents instead? Give him back his passport. You seem to be suggesting there was no reason to take it away in the first place.
No, the matter was sub judice. There was a decision that was taken of previous government which was highly illegal, and the matter was sub judice, and the court within a month thereafter actually passed strictures against the then UPA government for having revoked his passport without any rhyme or reason.
Abhishek Singhvi,
they have actually passed strictures against him.
What you are hearing from Mr. Narasimha Rao is that Mrs. Swaraj facilitated British travel documents because the original decision by your government to revoke Lalit Modi's passport was illegal. He actually used the word highly illegal. Do you want to respond to that? Let him come in and then we'll come back to you. Go on, Abhishek Singhvi.
Quite unwittingly, please. Quite unwittingly, Mr. Narasimha Rao is making it very worse for himself and his party. If there was nothing against Mr. Modi, why was he in court? If there was nothing against Mr. Modi, then the simplest thing for the Foreign Minister of India should have been to issue a certificate saying, here is your passport, I am issuing it. Here is my ministry letter. If there was nothing against Mr. Modi, why this circuitous route of Mr.
She could not have done that.
Telephoning her, separately telephoning the UK department, and she contacting the High Commissioner on holiday? Why was this, and this is very serious, bypassing her own ministry? And what is Mr. Arun Jaitley's ministry doing today? And was it the same reason why?
Well, leave out Mr. Jaitley's ministry today. Stick to Mrs. Swaraj.
Later. And lastly, yes, I'm saying why it is now clear from the queries in RTI that the decision whether to file an appeal or not is taken by the CPB unit of the MEA.
Let's not complicate the issue by raising other things. Let's stick straight to Mrs. Swaraj.
Karan, one sentence.
Stick to Mrs. Swaraj.
Karan, one sentence. No, I'm on Mrs. Swaraj. One sentence. According to me, Karan, not only is this very serious, but A, there was huge, humongous conflict of interest. She should not have touched the case with a barge pole. Her husband and her daughter were admittedly close, and I don't blame the husband and daughter one bit. They have their rights to do so. But she should not have touched the case with a barge pole.
Okay.
And the second point, Mr. Narasimha Rao, Dr. Manmohan Singh is facing a case for much less under a provision known as 13(1)D, where it has been now stated by the Supreme Court doesn't arise actually. But the 13(1)D provision says three things. If you are a public servant, which she is, you give a valuable benefit to somebody. Clearly, Mr. Modi was going all over the world looking for his passport, to a person without public interest. Now, this is not public interest if you ask the government of UK to give a temporary document to him, along with the reason of not only surgery but wedding. And 4 days later, he is posting selfies from Ibiza.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there, Abhishek Singhvi. You've made your point. Let me bring in G.V. Narasimha Rao. What you're hearing from Abhishek Singhvi is that Mrs. Swaraj is guilty of breaching the Prevention of Corruption Act, Section 13(1)(d)(3). And let me add, the same charge was made in a newspaper article by Mr. Chidambaram as well. And I presume when Rahul Gandhi keeps insisting that Mrs. Swaraj has broken the law, this is the law he's referring to. So how do you respond to that?
I think the Congress party knows it has a very weak case. That's why they don't want to debate it in Parliament. If you have facts with you, she has challenged you today to come and really point out what is the illegality she has committed. And all of you are distinguished lawyers. Mr. Singhvi himself, Chidambaram himself. Why have you not really why have you not even attempted to file a case? Why are you not even willing to debate? If you think there is a conflict of interest,
can I interrupt you there?
Debate it in Parliament.
Mr. Narasimha Rao, are you saying, this is an important
case.
Interruption, are you saying that if Congress is serious in claiming that she's broken the law and that she's a criminal, they should file a case first? Only then will you respond to that charge that she's broken the law. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Narasimha Rao?
No, we do not accept their contention. But if they really believe there is a case, they don't need our permission to file, try and file an FIR.
Let's put that to Abhishek Singhvi. Mr. Singhvi, there's a fair point there.
They cannot invoke
there's a fair point he's making. Rahul Gandhi's gone public calling her a criminal. He's gone public saying she's broken the law. You've said on 2 separate occasions on this program that she's guilty of breaching section 13(1)(d)(3). Mr. Chidambaram said it in print. In which case, why doesn't your party file an FIR? Why don't you go to court?
2 or 3, Karan, 2 or 3 answers. Number 1, we are entitled to, in a democracy, making a political point first. The two are mutually exclusive, and one doesn't prevent the other.
The second
so
answer?
we are making a political point.
Answer?
The political point has met no response.
Running out of time. The second answer?
Yes, we are. The second answer, yes. The fact that we are making this political point and Parliament is making it every day does not mean that we are not entitled to file a case. Who knows when we will file it? But third, we can file it, and somebody may file it.
You sound very uncertain about it. Who knows when we'll file it, and somebody may file it. I'm asking you bluntly,
no, we are
why don't you file
it?
If you're convinced she's guilty, file it.
Look, I'll tell you why we don't file it. We don't want the BJP to get off the hook so easily, because the administration of police, when you file an FIR, will not register a FIR for a long time. Then we have to go to a magistrate under section 190. The magistrate will have proceedings. We don't want that time to be wasted when this political point is being made. But I reserve my right. I mean, not me personally, but the Congress party reserves this right. Any citizen can file. And
Mr. Narasimha, I'm going to give you the last word, and I'm going to put to you. I'm going to give you, Mr. Narasimha, the last word, and I'm going to put to you one simple point, and that's this: if Mrs. Swaraj is willing to answer questions from journalists at a press conference or at an interview, where she doesn't just make a statement and say what she wants, as Mr. Singhvi says, hiding what she doesn't want to reveal, but is open to tough cross-questioning, then and only then will she convince the country she's done nothing wrong. Why don't you suggest she does that? Submit yourself for tough questioning, let people put the worst to you, answer it, and you'll succeed.
Karan, I think as a member of parliament, as a union minister, she is accountable to the people first through the institution of parliament. And she has been appealing from day one to make a statement, and the entire opposition would have had a chance to really question her on a very single issue. Parliament is a forum there you can have a very, very free debate. Congress party knows it has a very weak, case.
I'll take that as quite a good answer. You're absolutely right. Parliament is where she should make herself accountable.
They simply want to
Unfortunately, Parliament is not functioning sufficiently for her to be questioned.
Only one sentence, Karan, if you permit me.
I'm afraid, gentlemen, I've run right out of time. I'm going to have to end it there. This is clearly an unresolved matter. It's one that's going to rankle for days, if not weeks to come. I'm sure we'll be back discussing this very issue again before too long. My thanks to both of you for joining me. And if you have been, thanks for watching. Goodbye. Good night.